Island of Lost Souls. No one knew for sure where the island was. Fishermen from nearby villages claimed it appeared in the thick mist on the horizon, like a shard of another world slicing through the leaden waves of the ocean. Each time it emerged, its outline resembled a blurred mirage of something ancient, and with it came an eerie, inexplicable silence that seemed to swallow the sounds of the sea. They said the place was cursed. Several expeditions had set out to find it, but none returned. The last known attempt was briefly mentioned in a local newspaper. 4 young enthusiasts from a nearby town took a boat and headed toward the mysterious horizon. A week later, their boat was found adrift, empty, near the shore. On its side, only one word was scratched: silence. Evenings in the village often revolved around tales of old legends. The elders claimed that the Island of Lost Souls was a gateway between worlds, where the spirits of those who couldn't find peace resided. Each had their own version, but they all agreed on one thing: no one could survive there. "You can see it, but never return," warned old Jonas, his voice blending with the whisper of the waves. Those who believed in science thought the island was merely a rare natural phenomenon, but even they fell silent when strange objects were found on the shore. Broken clocks, torn book pages, rusty knives. These weren't ordinary items washed ashore. They were marked with unknown symbols, as if someone had tried to leave a warning. Mark, a young journalist, decided he could solve the mystery of the island. He arrived in the village equipped with gear, a notebook, and a determined expression. His skepticism annoyed the locals until an old woman stared him straight in the eye and said, "You want to know? Then go. But remember, your shadow might return without you." When Mark's boat neared the island's misty silhouette, the air grew dense, almost tangible. He noticed the fog pulling the boat, shrouding everything left behind. On the shore, he was met by a forest where the trees looked frozen in eternal screams, their branches bent into grotesque shapes resembling human arms reaching skyward. The feeling of being watched never left him. He heard footsteps, but every time he turned around, there was only a shadow. The sun seemed to never rise over this place, and the nights stretched endlessly. Each step he took on the island felt heavier, as though the ground was trying to pull him down. On the 3rd day, he found the camp of a previous expedition. The tents were torn apart, with scattered belongings, cameras, books, even an old locket. But there were no people. On one of the trees, Mark noticed a carved message: "They live in the shadows. Run." His heart froze, but he knew there was no turning back. The fog thickened again, and Mark heard voices. They called his name, promising answers to all his questions if he stayed. Deep down, he knew they weren't human. The island was playing with him, luring him into its traps. "Silence," he whispered, remembering the warnings. When the boat was found on the village shore, Mark wasn't in it, but his notebook remained. With his final words, "The island is not a place, it's an entity. If you see it, run while you still can." The villagers burned his belongings and never spoke of Mark again. The island vanished into the mist once more, as though it had never existed. But every evening, the sea echoed the footsteps of those who dared venture there,